So now we will go to something that is like builds upon and something that forms the basis of our almost all discussions on probability theory, which is called combinatorics or combinatorial mathematics, whatever it is. So combinatorics is basically based on something called a fundamental principle of counting or multiplication principle, which is like this. If an event can occur in m different ways, let me note it down. If an event can happen in m different ways, followed by another event which can happen in n different ways. So I am telling like I start from this. I can choose two ways. Either I can go top or down. Then once I go there, again I have two options. I can go top, I can top down. From here again I can go top, I can top down. So this first thing can be my n and second thing can be my n. This here I can have three also. I can be able to take three options as well. So then my m is 2 and my n is 3. So think for situations like this, then the counting principle, fundamental principle of counting tells that the total number of occurrence of events in the given order is m minus n. So that means final n states that I have is m by n, which is in this case 2 by 3, that is 6. As you can see here, I am having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 net outcomes I may get. So that is what the fundamental principle of counting tells. And here, since we are, and this can go in n levels. Suppose I have again 2 here, 2 here, like that. Then again one more 2 will get added here. So I'll get 2 into 3 into 2, that is 12. So that will be my net outcomes. The above principle can be generalized for any finite. Again, not the word finite here, any finite number of events. For example, for 3 events, I can have m into n into p, like what we saw here. And like this thing where it is useful and all is, suppose I want to create, I am given a set of 10 letter, first 10 letters, that is A to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. So up to A to J I can use. So I need to make 3 letter words out of that. And 2 cases are considered. First thing is no letter can be repeated. Second case is letters are repeated. So let's see, if no letter is repeated, then first choice I can choose any one of the 10 numbers. So I will choose 10. So suppose I choose A here. Then the second thing I can choose something from B to J only. So I am left with only 9 options. No letter can be repeated, right? Yeah, 9 options left. Then suppose again I have used A and B. I have only from C to J. So I have only 8 elements. So that is why if no letter can be repeated, it comes as 720. Now what if letters can be repeated? Then first letter I can, this thing my case is A, B, C I have chosen as well. Then second case, first thing I can choose anything A, B, C out of anything, 10 options I have. Second thing also repetition is allowed. So again 10 options I have. So I can choose A this point also, I can choose A this point also. So this is valid here, but whereas not valid for this first condition. So that is why second condition we have 10 into 10 into 10,000 cases. We can form this set in 1,000. We can have 1,000 ways to form this set. So that is a simple example. So now one notation that we will use in subsequent slides is what is called a factorial notation, denoted with an exclamation mark. So n factorial, what it means that it represents the product of first 10 natural numbers. So that means n factorial is n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 up to 1. So similarly, we can like denote it as a, if you see n minus 1 onwards, it is like n minus 1 factorial, right? If you see from n minus 2 onwards, it is n minus 2 factorial. So we can represent it as n into n minus 1 factorial as well. Or even if I want n into n minus 2 into, this is how we will try to implement this when we are coding and all. If you want to implement the factorials using recursion, this is how you will implement n into factorial of n minus 1. And now we have seen here that I am going till 1 only. So what is 1 factorial? Chat window, I need answers. What is 1 factorial? Using this definition. Right. 1 factorial is 1, right? So n is equal to 1. So and n minus 1 is 0. So I am going here till down till 1 only. So I need not go further. So now something that will come again when we do some problems is that we may have to find situations where we need to find. Actually, n is defined using this definition only for positive integers, that is from 1 to infinity. So some situations I may need to find 0 factorial. So hence the definition of factorial has defined that wherever you encounter 0 factorial, you assume that it is 1. Actually, as per this representation, If I go alone, 0 factorial should not have any value. So, but since mathematics, we are concerned with 0 factorial also to consider conditions where I will tell where it is applicable also in the next slide. So that where we will use the concept of 0 factorial. Now, combinatorics, different types of combinatorics we will consider. First thing is called a permutation. So permutation is an arrangement in a definite order of a number of objects taken same or all. This may sound confusing, but only thing that you need to see is if you see something like arrangement or order, something like that, if you are asked to tell, then you can basically infer that you are supposed to find the permutation. And the second part is like number of objects taken, some or all at a time. So if I am asked given n objects and I am asked to take choose n objects out of that with a particular arrangement or a particular order, I will use permutation. Now this again I have told here same or some or all at a time. So that means if I am asked to take again n-1 object out of this or n-2 object out of this or till 1 object out of this or 0 object out of this. Whatever it is, this thing will be called a permutation. So now permutation 2-3 cases arises. One is when the all objects are distinct. So I have n objects, each one is of a different type. So since order is maintained, that each object will be having a unique identity for it. So that is when we will consider this. So in that case, the number of permutations taken all at a time. So I am this first case, n objects given, I have to take all at a time. Then the factor permutation is given denoted as Pnn given by n factorial. In some literature, in most literature, you will see a it denoted like this, npn. But since this is easier to type, I have used this throughout. And the second thing is, suppose you are not taking n objects, you want to take r objects at a time, where r can vary from 0 to 10. So in that case, the permutation will be like written by p of nr, and it will be like n factorial by n minus r factorial. So it will be written like this in documents and all. If you refer, it will be written as npr is equal to n factorial by n minus r factorial. So this way only you will see in most of the documentation. Then permutation when all objects are, these two cases we considered when all objects are distinct. Suppose like A to Z, I am supposed to write 3-letter words or 4-letter words. Then all words are different, right? A, B, C is not same as A, C, B, right? So this is like a situation of permutation. Order is important. Now what if all objects are not distinct? So suppose I am giving given 5 words, 5 letters A, B, B, C, and then I am asked to form 3-letter words from this. So and I form a 3-letter word A, B, B, C. Then for this A, I can choose the A at this position as well as the A at this position. So I have multiple options to choose the A, and the B, the order is important here, right? So I have 2 B's. So either this B can consider come here or this B can consider come here. So both will not like lead to a difference in my output. So that kind of situations when we have multiple objects in the set belonging to the which are same, then we will use for permutation when all objects are not distinct. So that we will denote as like similar to here we will consider only the case where we are taking all the n objects, because it will be like mathematically difficult. But if you go for entrance and all, questions will come like that. Like this select, but this will be like a complicated problem, not in our thing. So we will consider here only npn. So npn, and we have like p1 objects of one kind, p2 objects of one kind. So simple case, I have n objects and I have p objects of a particular type. Then I will use n factorial by p factorial. Then suppose I have p1 objects of one type and p2 objects of another type, then I will use n factorial by p1 factorial, p2 factorial, that kind of thing. So I have generalized for the case where I have like p1 of one type, p2 of second type up to pk of kth type. That. Then something that is another related to permutation is circular permutation. So whatever we considered here, we have considered that these are linear. Now suppose what will happen if I have these things arranged in a circle. So again, same case, I will consider ABC. So if you arrange this, then ABC is same in this, BCA is same in this, CAB is same in this, assuming I am going in clockwise order. So in the permutation, actually, I can, since my order I am considering in circular way, ABC, BCA and CAB are the same. So I need to discount for that in my permutation combination. And again, in this case, we will see NPN only, because that really matters for us. Other things are like outside the scope of our discussions. So NPN will be n minus 1 factorial. I hope this is clear, right? Right? Answers in chat. Shall we proceed? Yes, Prashant. For this case that we considered A, B, B, C, C, I have two objects of type A, two objects of type B. So my using this formula, my result will be number of ways in which I can use this is 5 factorial by 2 factorial into 2 factorial. So this will be like 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 factorial by 2 factorial into 2 factorial. This 2 factorial and this 2 factorial will cancel. And this 2 factorial is 2. So this will be 2. So I got 5 into 10 to 10 into 3. So I will have some 30 ways of choosing these things. Okay, we will go to the next slide. Okay, since I am doing it online, sometimes the answer title might be wrong also. If it is wrong, you can just tell in the chat, or when you do it later, if you get some other answer, you can let me know, because we can correct it. Okay, because I am doing it online, I mean the answers may not be correct. Sometimes I may do some mistakes also while explaining. The next thing that we consider is what is called a combinations. So as you can see in the previous thing, I told to keep arrangement and order. So these two are the important keys in permutation. Similar to that, when you come to combination, what is comes is a selection or choice. So if we have some things like select something or choose something, then that will be mostly a combination kind of questions. And the order of selection of objects is immaterial. So the number of combinations of n distinct objects taken are at a time. This is here I will use this thing notation, but the actual notation you can find in literature is NCR. So that will be like equal to n factorial by n minus r factorial, same as what we saw in permutation. Again, same as what we saw in other not distinct case, we will have additional term here. So this will be like NPR by r factorial. So this will be my this thing equation for my number of combinations when the objects are distinct again. So here we will not consider the other non-distinct case, because again it will be like we need not like you can refer that on your own, because when we come to probability we will see things like that, but this point we will not discuss that. And some 2-3 relations related to this. One is that C of n, that is NCN, equal to C of NC0, that is NC0, both will be equal to 1. So that if you directly plug the values of n and r into this equation, you will get those results. And one thing is, okay, I did a mistake here. Okay, I will correct in the final slide. So this is actually C of nr equal to C of n, not this. Instead of this, you have to have this. C of nr equal to, sorry for the typo, C of nr equal to C of n minus r. So as you can see here, if you put a C of NCR, you got this. If you put NC n minus r, this will become r, this will become n minus r. So that way both the equations are one and the same. So that is how this result comes. CNR equal to Cn n minus r. The next thing is related to combinations is something called a Pascal's rule. So this we will see in later deep discussion in probability discussion and all when we discuss binomial distribution. So this thing is something like forms the basis of that. So Pascal's rule, still we will not go into additional details of this here. Pascal's rule tell me that n plus 1 CR equal to, if I write it, it will be like n plus 1 CR, that will be equal to NCR plus NCR minus 1. So similar to our permutation and all, similar to when we are implementing like using recursion or something, we can directly use this equation. And when we go for binomial distribution, binomial probability distribution and all, binomial theorem and all, again we will be extensively using this. Okay, now I will just for our like a summary of these topics that we saw different type of problems. I will just tell you some different types of problems and which one you will use in that particular situation, and with that we will end the combinatorics portion and we will move to our actual topic, probability. So suppose I have a 2, 3, 4 type of problems I will tell. So for all these problems, my number of options will be fixed as 10. And suppose my first problem that I have is I am asked to make an ordered samples of size R without replacement. Now what I mean by this without replacement. So you can assume it like I am having a set having n elements and I am taking one element out of this, right? So without replacement means that I am while taking the next sample, I have only n minus 1 elements in this set, and from that again I will take 1. So this is how I will actually conduct this experiment one way. Then again next time when I do, I will have only n minus 2 elements in this set. From that I will take 1. So that is what I mean by ordered samples of size R without replacement. In that case, the outcomes will be NPR, right? So that we saw earlier that our this is like direct implementation of our permutation equation that we saw earlier. So things where we can use this is like number of 3-digit numbers that can be used from 1 to 9 without repetition. Now you can see I did not consider 0 here. Can somebody tell me why I did not consider 0 here? Only 1 to 9 I considered here. Can somebody guess? Okay, so suppose I form a 3-digit number including 0, then 120 is valid. But again 0, 1, 2 is valid. But as in our normal convention, starting 0 is not valid. So this will be an actually 2-digit number only. So if I have to consider this thing, then it will be the problem that we will consider later. So that is why I have not included 0 here. Then similar to whatever example I showed here related to this taking some element from a set of n, that will be like choose 2 balls from a bag containing 5 numbered balls. So balls are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have to take 2 balls out of this, and then order matters. So in this case also I will resort to this kind of equations. Then second case that I will consider is again the same without replacement case, but the samples are unordered. So that is what the case of combination that we considered just prior to this, right? So that case my outcomes will be C of NR. So there the examples are this same example you will consider if you see. I will choose 2 balls from a bag containing 5 numbered balls, but the order of numbers do not matter. Or again I can change this problem statement to tell that choose 2 balls from a bag containing, instead of number ball I tell that from a bag containing 5 black balls. Again, the same equation only I will use. Order of numbers do not matter, or order of in which I take the colored balls does not matter. So in situations like numbered or this thing colored balls, I will make use of this equation. Now, third case I will consider is now in this thing both cases I told that this first trial is with if I have R trials, first trial is with sample size n, second one is n minus 1, third one is n minus 2. Second thing we will consider, what we will do is we have n, we will take 1 out of this, and then when we go for the next trial, we will put this back. So that again the next trial I will again have n elements. Then from that I will take 1. Then again when I go for the next trial, I will again have put it back and I will have n elements. So this is what I mean by with replacement. So in the again this case we will consider the ordered and unordered case. So the ordered case is what are we saw first? Fundamental principle of counting, right? We saw m into n into p. So here our m and p all are same as n. So it will be n. We are supposed to do it r times. So my number of possible outcomes will be n raised to r. So this will come like in situations where 3 dice are rolled together, or a die is rolled 3 times, and the order of numbers which comes of matters. Like I am telling like something like first day comes 1, second day 2, third day 3. So I am telling like this is not same as first day 3, second day 2, third day 1. So if situations like this, when order matters, then I will go for this. And second example is choose one ball from a bag containing 5 numbered balls 2 times. And order of numbers matter. That is with replay. Earlier one we considered without replacement, we did with the permutation. Now we are putting the balls back. So this time it will be a multiplication rule implementation. Then what will happen if I do this for an unordered? So what if I consider instead of this first restriction, I remove this and I will tell that this is equal to this. So in that way, my outcomes are like unordered. So that kind of situations equation I will use is again combination, but here instead of CNR, I will use CN plus R minus 1. So how this will come and all, you can just go through and refer. So finally, this will become its answer. So I will not go into the mathematical details of the derivation and all. You can just search it over the net if you are interested. Or you can get back to me. I will give you some reference related to this. So this kind of things will come when 3 dice are rolled together, or a die is rolled 3 times, and the order of numbers do not matter, right? And then second, again the example in the first case I will modify such that here the order of numbers mattered, but if the order of numbers do not matter, again I will use the same equation to find my answer. So all clear? Are we ready to start probability? So we will spend the next 30 minutes discussing probability, then maybe the other 15 minutes discussing some examples. All set? Shall we proceed to probability?